Hello and welcome back. This is Sherry with Heart and Soulful back in the studio with a new digital kit. For those of you who have been following my channel and watching the last series that I've been working on with all the coffee stain papers that kind of ended up doing coffee stain bubble papers and then adding lots of color in on top of that, I am still working on that digital kit. I actually have two just about ready to go. There'll be two different kits because I ended up having so many pages, and those are just with their final touches. Then I'll be doing a video. Same with the ones that I did before that. I'll do a kit of some grungy papers again too. So that's in the works. I just wanted to jump ahead because I had this kit finished. If you have been following me for quite a while, you know I do a variety of things. And one of the things that I do love are vintage things I collect. And then I've taken scans of them and offered them in digital kits. Well, this Vintage Clock Faces Volume 1 was very popular. It's been in my Etsy shop for quite a while, and I have, over the time that it's been there, had lots of requests to do some of the clock faces in different sizes. Now, when I scanned these, were all from the actual original old item. And so some scan or photograph or whatever better than others. And so I always hesitated getting them up to the size that people wanted, which at this point I think was 6-inch. Maybe someone asked for a little larger and I just said no. What happens is when I've tried to resize them larger, sometimes the quality will suffer, and I don't want to put something out there that is not a good quality. I took the time after this last request to go ahead and redo the kit. So I've taken the same scans that I had. I also since then had a couple of more watch designs, watch faces that I've added. So instead of just doing a second kit, I'm actually getting rid of this Volume 1 and it's now Volume 2. So if you've already purchased Volume 1, this kit will have the same faces that was in this kit and the same sizes, but it will have some additional sizes. It will also have some, I think there are 3 additional designs. So this kit is larger than this kit. So it was just easier for me to try to put it all in one place. So Vintage Clock Faces Volume 2, that's what we're on. This one has 8 different designs. The other one had, I think, 5, it said, so 3 more. And they're each in 8 sizes. They're done in 300 DPI. There's a total of 21 pages to print out. And what took me so long is I wanted to, without doing 2 kits, have them sized so that they will print either 8.5 by 11 or A4 size without you having to do anything other than telling what paper you're using. So it's not going to distort any of the sizes. It took a bit to do this because the projects that people are requesting these for, there's a new thing out there with using paint can lids. I don't know if you've seen it. I actually haven't, but I've had more than one person make a size request based on them wanting to do that kind of project. So that's what got me into just redoing the kit. What I did this time is I took all the scans and I just did them in 8 different sizes. So all of the designs are upsized, downsized. They go from 1 inch to 6 inch. So be aware that some of the quality on some of the 6 inch for some of the designs won't be as good as with others. I went ahead and did it just because I keep getting the requests, and this way you can use it or not if you like. And you'll see I've printed everything out so you'll be able to see in this video the actual finished product that you can print out. Okay, so there's 21 pages like I said, and it took me a while because I wanted to kind of figure out how will people want to print these designs. You may have a favorite face that you like. So I did each of the 8 designs have their own page, and because the larger sizes, you can't even get 2 on a page. I don't want to waste the paper. So I went ahead and put a large one, and then like in this case, this large size is 5.5 inches, which was, I had a request from somebody for 5.5 and 3 inch in the same request. So this page has 5.5 inch and 3 inch. And then I've just filled in with whatever sizes I could get that would fit to be able to print 8.5 by 11 or A4. So that's what I've done. If you're printing on A4 paper, for example, your design is going to fit this way. You'll have a little extra white space this way because of the way that they're designed. If you're 8.5 by 11, it's going to fit this way, and you may have a little extra space this way. Okay, so there's 8 pages, one of each design. That it actually took, I should back up. In order to get all the sizes in each design, it took 2 pages. Okay, so on these 2 pages that you would print, you would get everything in this design, with one exception. I could not fit the 2.5-inch circle on either one of these, so there'll be a separate page for that. Okay, so this will have this will have 7 of the different sizes in 2 pages per design. Okay, so in this case, this is a 6-inch, 4-inch. In the case of these 2, I actually had to fudge the size to some odd size just to fit it on here, but you'll still get each of the sizes that I refer to in the description of the 8. So of those, you're going to get a 1-inch, 1.5-inch, 2-inch, 2.5-inch, 3-inch, 4-inch, 5.5-inch, and 6-inch. Okay, that's the sizes. They're in the descriptions. The other thing about the sizes, because I had someone once mention that they printed them out and they weren't quite the size I had stated. They were a little smaller. Well, that's not actually accurate. I think I know what happened, because my printer does this too, is when you're printing, I'm printing on, I use an Apple MacBook Pro, and then I'm printing on an Epson EcoTank 8500 printer. When you pull up a picture, a JPEG, which is what these are, when you pull that up, in my case, it pulls it up in preview. And if I go and click on print, if I look, it's not actually wanting to print that at 100%. It's wanting to print it at 97 or 98%. So I have to go in and scale it and say, no, I want it to print 100%. It will fit on that paper, because when I design these layouts, I even considered the border that it would want to print, leave it around the edge if you're not printing borderless. So just make sure when you print that it says that you're printing 100%. And if you are, then these should be sized the way that you want them. Now, the other caveat is I actually sized these up a little bit larger. So if it's a 3-inch, it might be 3.1 or inch. And the reason I did that is because I like to use a circular hole punch to punch mine out. And I want to be able to, let me find a punch. This is a 2-inch. I want to see if I get in here at a 2-inch when I think this one's a 2-inch. Now, I need to trim off the edge to get to that. You can see I'm not able to push it all the way down because of this border. But you can see what would happen is if I had it exactly at 2-inch, sometimes if your hole punch isn't exactly perfect, you might see a little bit of white edge around there. And I don't want that, because I've taken I want to punch these out fast. So I want to just be able to center it and know that I'm not going to have a little white border around anything. So that's why, and then some of these too, these are from original old watches. So there might be a little something around here that is not perfect that you don't want. So I've sized them all just a titch larger so that when you use a hole punch, you'll be able to center it, see it, and not have a little white border, okay? A lot of people are just going to be cutting those out with scissors, and that works too. It just takes a little more time. So one tip that I have to do that is, if you're fussy cutting them out, get a pair of cuticle scissors that have a little curve. And then that way, when you're cutting, this is maybe easier to use for at least the smaller circles. Okay, so 2 pages with the 8 different sizes, except for the 2.5. Okay, so you get 7 different sizes. So it's that design. This one has its 2 pages. There's this one. And again, this one you can kind of see maybe the quality is not as sharp in the word Hamilton as in the smaller sizes. It kind of looks a little better. But I've got 2 in that. This is one of my favorites just because it has that grunge already on it. So there's 2 pages of that design, so you get all the sizes. This one from a Big Ben clock. And this is actually from a watch face. So it's the enamel watches, and you can see that it's cracked, and that's all, in the original enamel. Same with this watch face. So you get all the little chips and things in it. And you can kind of see the little copper backing. 2 pages there. This is just an old rusty face, but I really like it. Okay, and then we get to the 2.5 inch because I couldn't fit any onto those other pages. So I did all the designs. You'll see some duplicates. And then this is 2 inch. I went ahead and did some extra sheets for the smaller sizes because I could fit multiple on a page. So I just, again, chose what kind of the favorites were and did what I thought I would like. You know, so that way if you just need a bunch of 2 inch ones, you can print on a page without having to print all of each design page. Same with the 1.5 inch and then the 1 inch. Okay, so these pages don't have every design. It's just kind of the ones that I thought would be the most popular, okay? And then I wanted to show you this also because this might come up sometimes in some things like this or in like my brightly colored digital kits. Not so critical with the vintage ones because you don't mind it being kind of an old vintagey color or quality, that kind of thing. But I wanted to show you that what kind of printer paper you use and your settings make a difference on how they print. So I don't want anyone to ever feel like they're getting a kit, they're buying a kit, and then they go to print it out and it just doesn't look the quality that they saw in my video or that they were expecting. So paper and your settings matter. It's not about the kit all the time. You know, sometimes it's just that little thing you can fix. So I wanted to show this is the thumbnail that you see. And if you can see this, the difference in quality of the digital, and this is the exact same digital, but you can see how much crisper, cleaner, how dark the black is versus black on this one. If you can see that difference, let me maybe hold it up really close. So you see how black, how just vivid that is versus in this one. And you can even see the little stripes in this one, and that is still black. It's just a different quality. So both of these were printed, I believe this one was printed on 110-pound white cardstock, and this one was printed on Epson Premium. Let me go grab the thing. Okay, this one was printed on the Premium presentation paper, the matte finish. And this one is 44-pound paper. So this really nice one was printed on this paper. And when you do that, I choose the highest quality setting, and then this is what you can get. Now for your project, you may not want to waste this much ink or use this expensive of a paper. So you can print on whatever you want. I just want you to know that when you look at my video and you see it printed like this, and then you're printing it at home on plain copy paper or printer paper, and it doesn't look the same, that is why. It's not the kit, it's the printer and the settings that you're using, and the paper. So you can also get Epson presentation paper in a matte finish that's 27-pound. This one is not as premium as the Premium is. So I have also printed on this one. I don't think in this kit, but let me see if I have a difference in this kit that's to be coming soon. This is just as an example. This is actually on 110-pound cardstock, not even the presentation mat. And this one was done on the 27-pound, this presentation paper mat, but it's the Epson paper, whereas this one is just a cheap brand. So you can maybe see a difference. I don't know if you can or not in the quality of those two. Again, using the higher setting is going to give you a better quality also. I think these were all done. Let's see, this one I think was also on 110. I should have written it on the backs of these. And then I switched to the lighter weight paper. So this will be the kit to come, but I just wanted you to see that the difference in the quality of paper that you use. So you can print it on anything. You can print it on, you know, cheap copy paper, plain cardstock, a more expensive paper. I've often done them on Hammermill 32-pound paper, which is a little nicer paper. But regardless, you want to print them. I think actually these, now I did these all on cardstock because I want the thickness of that cardstock. And because I'm usually using them in a vintage kind of project, I'm adding maybe, you know, vintage photo distress oxides or things like that. So I don't really need them to look clear and perfect like I have them in this thumbnail. So just be aware of that. I tend to, no matter what paper I'm printing on, you want to make sure in your printer settings that you select the appropriate paper. And mine actually, when I click on my print settings, it lets me choose the paper, and it has premium presentation paper and presentation paper on there so that I can choose the correct one. And then from there, you can still choose which quality. I have found for my printer, I need to use anything above the halfway, that one of the top 2 qualities, to not get little stripes in my print. I used to think that that was because I needed to clean my print head, and I found out no, it wasn't. I just needed to choose a higher quality, and it just puts out more ink and gets rid of the stripes. So that's just kind of a little tip when you're printing out a digitals. I also have some other tips and things and different kinds of paper I like to print on. So I'm going to put a link down below in the description for another video, an old video that I have about buying digitals. If you aren't experienced with buying digitals, that might have some information in there that's helpful to you about purchasing them, downloading them, different ideas about printing them, that sort of thing. So that is the kit. That's the new kit. It's up and live in my Etsy shop. Again, there will be a link for that also in the description. So I hope you have fun with all of these. I hope I have answered everybody's questions about this. I probably have forgotten something, so feel free to ask me down in the comments. But I'm hoping that this kit, being much larger with such a variety, will kind of cover everybody's crafting needs. So with that, have a great rest of your day. Now go make something. Bye.